And walking on stage is Vice President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, as well as the entire continent. And in just a bit, we will have a video just to show what CCTV Africa. Recognition of those who are also present with us today are envoys and representatives from Embassy of Uganda, Egypt, South Africa, Sudan, Tanzania, and
After 5 decades of development, CCTV currently operates 37 channels and online television and many new media platforms. We not only provide information for people throughout China, we also work as an open window between China and the rest of the world. From business to politics.
Today, we record an important entry in the history of the cordial and fast-growing partnership between China and Africa. The launch of CCTV Africa News Production Center is a milestone upon which the relationship between Africa and China will forthwith enjoy a timely and much-needed shot in the arm. This time round, through information exchange. I'm therefore delighted to be part of this momentous occasion to inaugurate China Central Television's Africa News Production Center in Nairobi that will also serve as Africa's hub for news. With a viewership of more than 1 billion people, CCTV is certainly one of the largest news networks in the world. I'm therefore persuaded that your entry to Kenya and Africa marks the beginning of better and greater cooperation of partners in development and trade. My advice from the outset is that CCTV seeks partnerships with local broadcasters, especially national broadcasters like our very own Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, in order to increase the reach and influence for both parties. This, in my view, will enhance deeper cultural ties that will in turn be instrumental in cementing the relationship and understanding between the people of China and Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm aware that CCTV plans to produce local content to be aired internationally. There can never be a better way of ensuring that the information and news transmitted in your broadcasts on Africa carry the nuances that foster great understanding of the African continent, its idiosyncrasies, and points of departure of its people within the global mosaic of ideals, virtues, and cultural trends. The very nature of TV broadcasting enables people who are otherwise cut off from each other by vast distances of cultural biases to engage and interrogate each other closely. The power of television, if creatively deployed, does create the necessary empathy for people from diverse geographical locations, enabling them to find common grounds for the furtherance of mutual understanding and tolerance in a quickly globalizing world. Above all, the exposure of world cultures through TV is the beginning of the establishment of sustainable world peace, itself a much-needed prerequisite for the better and more equitable world of all of us are actually looking for. TV reaches across state boundaries and differing time zones to bring us together as one world. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, unless modern states make deliberate efforts to use technology to link diverse worlds and emphasize that human destiny is essentially one and inevitably intertwined, we shall forever dwell in firefighting to reconcile people instead of spending our energies in pulling our people out of poverty and out of ignorance. with regard to enhancing the transfer of development models that have worked for the more developed economies, TV is the best channel to bridge the gap. This is what I challenge CCTV to do in Africa forthwith. And now, turning to reporting Africa by international press. Oftentimes, Africa is shown as the continent of endless calamities and unceasing tragedies. Few international newsmakers bother to take a second look at the various outstanding endowments the continent boasts of. There are natural attributes found only in Africa that can support an upsurge of tourism in the continent. Heroes and heroines who have overcome adversity to join the world's best and most illustrious and advances that the continent has made towards modernizing our means of production across sectors. These are newsworthy stories that should cast a new image of the continent, rightly dumb the continent of the future. And I personally hold the view that the time for Africa is now. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, at some point in the history of broadcasting, the radio heralded the doom of print media. Afterwards, the arrival of television was considered to have handed the death knell for radio. Today, the rise of the internet has sometimes led to exaggerated pronouncements of the death of TV. Personally, I do not think so. The survival of television is purely dependent on how relevant its style and content will reflect on the needs and demands of changing times, the world it's bound to traverse in the course of history. While new technologies have changed the way audiences consume media content forever, the role of the television broadcaster, especially of international repute like CCTV, should and will remain significant as long as ingenuity and the sensibility to embrace change become your permanent focus. CCTV has come to Kenya at an opportune time when the country has put in place a legal and policy framework to guide broadcasting in Kenya. And I want to congratulate Minister Sampo Gisho and his team in the ministry for a job well done. This being the first ever Chinese overseas news production center in Africa, based in Nairobi, I wish to guarantee you that on our part, the Kenya government will support your initiatives the best way possible. Indeed, as we have always done, even when it comes to upholding the One China policy. Should you need help in improving your systems of reaching personalities who will give your content additional clout, let the relevant authorities communicate as much. I'm aware, for instance, that CCTV has applied for external agency status in Kenya. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs will look into this and respond to you in due course, and I'm sure positively. It is in our interest to ensure that CCTV becomes the extension of our mutual outreach in the valued partnership between Africa and the People's Republic of China. As I conclude, I must hail CCTV for recruiting a significant 90% of the editorial staff locally. And I was able to witness this with my own eyes when I went to the studios. This will certainly give your coverage the necessary local touch for your operations in Africa. Please allow me to say congratulations, CCTV. Thank you, and may God bless you.